Still tilted. Hi.
Hello. Remember, it always is. You have to put something.
That's right. I have to put something underneath. Do-do-do-do. Hello. Happy Sunday.
Welcome.
Hold on. That's too high.
Too high?
Absolutely. We're just trying to level up over here.
Level up.
Who needs to level up on a Sunday?
There we go.
Level up, people.
We're leveling up.
Hold on.
There we go.
Ah.
Perfecto. We are leveled up.
Leveled up. Well, now that's sorted.
Okay.
Hello. Happy
All right.
Sunday. I'm Shiv.
Happy Sunday. I'm Cemaaj.
Did I say happy?
Did you
Happy
say?
Sunday.
It just sounds like that.
Happy.
It just sounds like that. It's not really.
Well, I mean, I used to have to say my H's. It reminds me of Harry. Can you say
Harry
it?
went to Hampstead. Harry had a hat.
No?
Harry's brother said, "Can I borrow that?"
No.
I'm just changing it because I don't remember.
Harry went to Hampstead. Harry lost his hat. Harry's brother said,
Harry,
Harry, where's your hat? Hanging in the hall, said Harry. As he answered that, in came brother Henry, wearing brother Harry's hat. So, happy Sunday.
We don't have such things in the States.
Elocution lessons
That's great.
in
though.
England.
Love
Anyway, there you go. Anybody here, let us know how the sound is. Hopefully, we are. Have you got your headset in there?
it. Yeah.
Boo boo.
I'm missing something.
You're missing something.
There we are.
The other end is not plugged in. Perhaps that's a good lesson.
I can
for
hear
us.
it.
You can hear us. He can hear us. This is amazing. Technology at its best. Anyway, if you're here, whether you're live with us right now, or if you're joining in on the recording afterwards, drop us a line, say hi. Always love to hear from you. It's always nice to know who we're here with. So Sunday Sit, mindfulness and meditation, and we're into, I don't know what week we're in. We're just here. We're just taking a journey, right? So it doesn't really matter the number of weeks. What matters is that we keep turning up. The number of weeks doesn't matter. We keep turning up. And we keep turning up, that's the number of weeks. So I think what we're going to do is we'll talk a little about mindfulness, because mindfulness, I think, personally, is like the action of it, right? Mm-hmm. And meditation is more of the practice of it. Of course, you're practicing mindfulness, but you're not really actually doing it, right? But and it's more action-based, and you can do it. You can put it throughout your life, throughout your day. These little moments and acts of mindfulness that we can do. And then the meditation tends to be more when you're sitting. That can be in myriad ways, and one can get into a meditative state, obviously, in many different ways. But we have only limited time. So right now what we're doing is that the sitting meditation, but then the very active mindfulness, the very active in real life. How can I use this shit to make my life better? Because otherwise, why am I doing it? I've got lots to do.
Yeah.
And I don't need it if it's not going to make my life better, right? I'm not just trying to do a practice anymore. I'm not just trying to be a practitioner, right? I know a few of those. I bet you do too. But actually, I want like life to be the practice, right? And putting it into practice on this side, like really, really like honing all these skills, taking all this experience we've never had before, right? We've never been here before. We've never had all this experience inside of ourselves, right? And not only the experience, but the experience of ourselves, of who it is to be ourselves, of the challenges that we've come through, of the things that we've withstood. I was just talking to my cousin this morning, and we're saying we have survived 100% of our worst days and experiences to date, right? Now that's not to take away that when we're going through it, we're really, really going through it. But if we can remember before we're going through it that this is part of it, then we can remove some of that friction, right? And friction oftentimes is what really causes us a lot of the pain. So the pain is the part that's the hardest. The struggle, we can struggle, but the pain, that soul weight, can be super heavy, and almost debilitating. And so, if we can lighten that, if we can recognize a way to deal with that, then we should have a little lighter journey. And the tools will help us.
And that's where the mindfulness comes in.
And that's where the mindfulness comes in. And then the meditation is a way of really achieving some stillness with yourself. That I think of these things as like these nanoseconds, right? It's a nanosecond that it takes for this spark to come through from yourself to yourself. But that nanosecond needs an expanse of space around it in order for it to be created, right? And so quite often I feel that's the other end. We're talking Cemaaj. I think I'm going to find my tech guy today. Like, I'm not sure.
No, because you had the point of...
Yeah, but I mean, really, so maybe the sound just got better. I have no idea what I was just saying. In nanoseconds. So we need this nanosecond of spark, but that nanosecond of spark needs a container. Not only that, what I have found I started meditation in 1999, so it's been a few years, is that on this side, with that 20 plus years of practice, that when I most want to run away from myself, I can sit with myself a bit better. And that can be really invaluable. And just think, as we get through life within each decade, how tedious to just keep sitting with yourself, running away from yourself in the same way, different situations, but running away from yourself in the same kind of way, and what a gift it is to yourself to find a way to ameliorate some of that friction, pain stuff, and a way to sift through and really determine what's important to you right now. Because when we start to take stock right here on this side, we start to realize that there's a lot of stuff that just, what the fuck, it doesn't matter, right? Your friend ices you out, takes you off of Facebook or whatever. Okay, I see you. And carry on, right? Take that, learn from it. Whatever it is that's going on, what's important. Yeah. And more it'll be, but less outside will be important and more inside will be important. And not only what's important, but what's possible, right? Because we tend to think, especially on this side, at this kind of age, and I'm talking to the ladies of a certain age, like moi, for example, that our possibilities maybe we've had them, right? And they'll live through in the next time. But we are full of possibility, because as I said at the beginning, we have come here to this moment with something we've never had before, and that is the experience of everything that we've come here with. And that is fucking powerful, super powerful, because when we take inventory of what's important to us now and what we have now, we find that we're more equipped than we actually thought. And what's just the only thing that we need to do is to start doing it, right? And to start finding our way, and to start just Mama's here. Mama's in the house. Rose Butler is Cemaaj's mom, so in San Francisco. Hi, Mom. I love you. It's one of my favorite people in the whole wide world. The sweetest thing. And so we start to choose ourselves on this side, and one of these days we're going to have to get Ma on, because at 80 she could tell us a lot more about what's important on this side. She's phenomenal and full of energy, and lots and lots of wisdom. She raised 3 boys on her own. Like, wow. So these are the things that become important. And then our struggles, we're talking about struggles, then the degree or severity or degree of our struggles, or how much they affect us, is dampened a little, right? The edges are softened, and the little softer edges, fewer scratches on us, right? Life's not scratching us up so much, and we feel a little easier in our skin, and we start to realize that that's what we're wanting to feel, a bit easier in our skin, and we learn ways to do that. So that's what we can do with the meditation. We can really start to tap into that, and then we can hear these whispers from the soul, I call them, right? And sometimes we really, really, really don't want to hear it, right? Oftentimes, and I'm not saying that every time you sit, you have these. They need like lots of, you sit and you sit, and then you sit and you sit, and you sit 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 and you sit. It's not about it's the sitting, it's creating. That's what's creating that spark. So it's and then a store bank for you, that as you go along, compounding your experience with yourself, so that as you get into later years of practice, that it becomes easier and easier to be with yourself, even throughout the most difficult situations. Because yes, you'll get through it. You have to get through everything, but how do you get through? And can you ameliorate some of that pain and some of that guilt and shame that often come along on the old train of pain? And that's why we're here. And we're here because we can't, I forget the card is over there, the pain card. We can't always stop the pain coming our way, but we can learn the ways that we can better heal ourselves, right? And that in coming here, even if it's this like coming to this 12 o'clock to 12:30 thing that's setting itself off right now, meeting yourself here every week, giving yourself a timeline, a touchstone. It's kind of that like, gosh, it's, oh my God, it's noon on Sunday. Oh my, it's noon on Sunday again. And you start to have a feel of a rhythm of time, not just kind of, instead of it being a week that's gone by, there's a month or a season. You know, you're like, gosh, where did that time go? You become a little more cognizant of where the time went. And you made a little bit of time for yourself. I know it sounds woo. I know. I just said the same thing. But it really can work, you know. And yeah.
Sounds rude to take time.
To take time to sit with yourself and meet yourself. You know, I've got shit to do, man. I'm a bit busy. So.
The world today.
The world today. And in fact, one of the actually was.
Who has time to sit?
Exactly. Well, here's I'll give you a perfect example. When I was practicing, you remember the poem Silence, right? So I've told you this one many times. So I just finished work. It was about 9 o'clock. I was getting the N Judah home to 4th Avenue where I lived at the time, and had to wait for it. And there's these like round concrete, I guess they're called benches. It's a lumber concrete that's round. You wait for the BART train. And someone had just called me, a friend just called me, and this must have been like year 2000, and said they had to cancel brunch or something at the weekend. And I found myself thinking, well, gosh, what can I do instead? Like I'm trying to fill, like, what can I do? And then this little voice came, and I got my journal out, and it wrote, in the chaos, we yearn for it, yet in the solitude, we try to fill it, as if we are afraid of silence. And I tell you, that was a profound moment in my life, because I realized, like, here I was all the time, too busy, always busy, like working and just busy. And I was still filling time. I was just like filling time like it was going out of fashion, like, oh my God, if I don't fill it. And then realize that really, actually, the gift was time, not filling it, right? And here I was given an ideal opportunity to see that. So yeah. There you go.
There you go. All right. Well, let's read the question.
Let's read the question
of the week, shall we? Let's see, I have a couple here. Let's go with this one. Will meditation, mindfulness keep me from being mad or frustrated?
It's likely to make you mad and frustrated.
Yeah, that's what it's for. What do you mean?
You want to stir up your waters inside. Yeah, get yourself a little meditation on mindfulness. You know what it's going to do is it's going to make you aware of it, right? It's going to make you aware of the times that you're mad and frustrated and the conditions around you. And then also, bring you more in line with, oftentimes those things are conditioned responses, right? Because we've been doing them habitual, that we've been doing them for so long, and there's a trigger and we go off. Mindfulness will help us to see that and go, oh, look at that, right? You think of yourself as like a camera looking from above, and you like look down, you think you're one thing, and then you look down, and you're, oh, look at that. That was me. Shoot, and then maybe next time you might censor yourself, and you start to work with that. So it can help in that way. But it can also make you mad and frustrated in the sense that you realize that you're a bit of a mess inside, or actually you're quite a lot of a mess inside, and that's okay. And that's actually seriously, and that's actually what we're going to work with today in the meditation, because again, it's the friction we create inside of ourselves about that not being okay that causes us to be even more not okay. Do you get me? Right? So you're already feeling not okay, and then there is this sense that feeling not okay is not okay. Well, what are you supposed to be feeling good all the time? Do you think does that sound right? So when we know that we are like the weather, we're going to have sunshine, we're going to have rain, we're going to have cloudy days, we're going to have foggy days, we're going to have all these inclement weather patterns, some predictable, some not. None will stay. None, not one of them. And none will be so insurmountable if we are aware that it will not stay. It will pass, right? Unless you're in Seattle in the winter, I suppose. Sorry, Seattle.
It may stay.
It might stay for a while. But even in Seattle, the sun will shine. And please don't
Yes.
write to me if you're in Seattle, because I would love to come and even spend foggy days there.
We love Seattle.
Yeah, we do love Seattle. But, this is the same with our mind and the same with ourselves. But what we can do is, because of that, we can just kind of let time fritter away from us. So like now, if you sit, no matter what, make a commitment, no matter what, I'm going to do this thing, and it's a small thing, then we really get to look from above and see how we're doing with it. And our practice definitely will help us in our real life. So with that, shall we? Okay. So we're just going to do a bit of a sit. Bit of a sit, sit with ourselves, meet ourselves here. So just come into a position that is comfortable to you right now. Doesn't take any particular position to meet yourself. Like, that's what you're doing. You're already here. If it's comfortable to you, close your eyes or soften your gaze, and start to focus on your breath, just meaning, ask yourself, focus on the belly going out as you breathe in, going in as you breathe out. Seeing if you can locate where the breath is coming in, that small sensation at the nostrils as the air comes in. This life force that fuels us. We can't do without it. It's the thing that we can do the least time without. That's coming in, refreshing the cells. The body's making use of what it needs, and then it's letting go. No judgment, no attachment. It's just in, takes what it needs, lets out what it doesn't. Where can we take our first hint from that? Where can we take what we need and let go of the parts that we no longer either serve us or need? Or maybe we're just hanging on to, maybe it's a thing, maybe it's a friendship, maybe it's a possession, maybe it's a pattern, a thought that keeps recurring. And we let it go. Just like the breath on the exhale is gone. And as we focus into our breath and this precious human body that we have, we spend so little time with it, yet we are with it all the time. Always looking for the quickest ways to get it fixed, the quickest ways to take care of it. And we'd ask, how can we be kind? How can we be kinder to our body? This vessel that serves us so well, without attachment, without judgment. Our home, our real home. And of all our possessions and all of our assets, it's oftentimes the place we spend the least amount of time with. And then struggle sets in, and we become very aware of where we are. Feeling his seat bones, making contact. Spine stacking up on top of itself. Shoulders relaxing away from the ears. Soften the chin on the neck. Maybe soften your eyebrows. A smile. This is you sitting with you. Not so bad, is it? As you're breathing in and out, can you bottle this sensation, this feeling right now of who it is to be you in this very, very moment? Creating your own peace inside your skin. Sure, there's a lot going on in your life. Perhaps you're really struggling right now. But there is this moment here where there's no struggle, just you, your breath, possibilities. Perhaps even glimpses of peace. You can create this for yourself at any time, either with the aid of someone guiding you or just by yourself. It doesn't have to be quiet on the outside for you to be quiet on the inside. And even if your mind's chattering and you're struggling to keep coming back to your breath or whatever it is you're doing today, it doesn't matter. Because you're here with yourself, not being distracted by anything outside. The more familiar you get with being here with yourself, the more your thoughts will be familiar with organizing themselves outside of here. But also the more you will realize that you're not stopping your thoughts. It's not even about that. It's about you spending some time with you and the space between those thoughts. Because as you sit here, mind rambling, doing whatever it's doing, there are pauses and spaces, and in these pauses and spaces is when the whispers of your soul come through. And this is where you learn your own magic, get your own prompts, trust your own intuition, find your own way. We started this session with talking about the breath and how we take in, the body takes in the breath, taking what it needs and letting go of what it doesn't. And when we think about the things we need to do, we often have such big things, but we can't do it all at once. And the breath shows us that. It's small, but it's consistent. And oftentimes, it's not the amount of something that is missing or that makes something not work. It's the lack of consistency. Because consistency, there's the magic. When we do something consistently, no matter what, we learn things about ourselves. We rub edges off ourselves. We create new neural pathways. We become somewhere that we've never been before. And there's no time like right fucking now to start a journey, a pathway to somewhere we've never been before. And with that, start to take a nice deep breath. You can stretch out if you like. No time like now to start a journey to somewhere and possibility that we've not been before. I know that's where I'm about to go. I'm breaking apart in order to be put back together again in the best of the kintsugi ways, right? So yes, falling apart, but also coming back together. That's the experience. That's it. Well, I think that is our 30 minutes together. It's actually where I'll be going off to, actually going back to the beach, so I will possibly go live and I'll let you in on it. We'll see you next week. If you joined us, let us know. If you've got any questions, let us know. And yeah, otherwise, we'll see you very soon.
Yeah,
I'm Shiv.
See you next week, and I'm Cemaaj.
Alone we can do so much, but together we can do so much more.
So much more.
See you soon.